I'm going to tell you why you may always be so tired at work. And then are half of U.S. companies preparing to cut jobs? Ford with some layoffs, but why? And then I'm going to coach you up. Let's go. Coaching you to make more money and experience more meaning. Increasing your income, increasing your impact. That's what I do on behalf of you. I'm a man of the people. I'm Ken. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Let's go. So the other day, we're talking to the team about, we're always planning content and we're looking in the numbers and what you want and what the trends are. And so we're talking about the fact that, the reality is that a lot of people are just flat out tired all the time at work. You're physically tired, you're emotionally tired, you're mentally tired. There's no question about that. I get it. Speaking of being tired, it always cracks me up. I used to get a little irritated by it when I'd be around somebody, or my wife and I'd be around some people that were in their 20s. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're younger than 25 and they got no kids, and they're talking about how tired they are. Like it'd be in a social setting, they're so tired. I'd be like, let me tell you something. You don't even understand the level of tired that parents experience. Come on, Nathan's in there amening, and he's a very quiet young man. I mean, Nathan's in the throes of it right now, all right? He's got littles, all right? Then as I've told Nathan, the tired shifts a little bit. As your kids get older, bro, you won't be as physically tired anymore, but that'll shift to emotional weariness. It's such a freaking emotional battle with teens, right? The battle of the wills. Then there's just the battle of what I call the worries. I find myself all the time going, dude, if your dad texted you the stuff that you text your son, you'd be irritated too. The other night, what am I doing? I know exactly where he is. I track him. He's not done anything wrong. Good kid. And here I am blowing his phone up. Why are you in the parking lot right now? What are you doing in the parking lot? And he called me out on it, and I'm confessing it live today because I was like, to his credit, I said, bud, thank you for challenging me on that. And by the way you did it was great. And I got off the phone, and I said, my parents didn't text us. We didn't have phones. There was no tracking device. So anyway, I've gotten off on a rabbit trail. All right. But sometimes my rabbit trails are so good, they must be delivered. And I feel like that's one of them. But anyway, this idea of being tired. I went from being tired, making fun of 20-year-olds telling me how tired they are. But we're tired. Everybody's tired is my point. That was the point I was making. And so I said to the team, all right, I want to dive into a wrinkle on this source of being tired. So if you're tired at work all the time, or you feel like that's a new development, I'm going to make a different proposition to you today. That maybe you're not tired at work. Maybe you're tired of work. Oh, it's always fun when we can take a preposition and change it out. Maybe you're not tired at work. You think, oh, I'm so tired, I'm not getting good sleep. Or I'm this, and all those things can be true. Sleep's so important. However, is it possible that you're having a decent to good night's sleep? Is it possible that you're working out and eating pretty decent and you're still tired at work? And you're trying to figure out, man, I got to go see the doctor. I got to figure out why I'm so tired all the time. And is it possible that some of you aren't tired at work, you're tired of work? Now I can hear people going, oh, you better believe it, man. I'm tired of work. That's why you listen to my show. I presume that if you're really happy at work, you're not tuning into the show all the time, and that's good. I've done my job. However, I want to point out that burnout can make someone tired of work. And I don't mean that you're going to quit and never work again, but what if the work environment is the source of your weariness? I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, but I think it's completely possible that you can take care of yourself physically, have a wonderful night's sleep, things going great in your personal life, you're not that stressed out, and you come into an environment that could be one of just no meaning for you. It's not bad. It's not great. It's a good job, good benefits, good pay, but there's no meaning for you in your work. I think it's possible that you could come in and it'd be a toxic environment and unhealthy. And that can make you weary at work. I think you could come in and be doing a good job and you feel as though you're not noticed. And that can make you emotionally weary. I think you could come in and be bored. Just not challenged. I think that can make you weary. There are physical, mental, and emotional sources of weariness. And for those of you who feel like you're tired all the time, you have no juice in the job, yes, talk to your doctor, check the physical side of things, get with a counselor, get serious about the mental health side of things. But don't overlook the emotions that are tied to our work. You are a human being. You are a being of feeling. You got feelings. Boy, don't we have the feelings. We are so in touch with our feelings as a society, we've gone overboard, right? Someone hurt my feelings. I need a mental health day. No, you don't. You need to frickin' be an adult and challenge them on it. Talk to your leader about it. Or maybe give them a little grace that they weren't actually trying to hurt your feelings, but they did. But the fact of the matter, while I poke a little bit of fun at all of our feelings are important and feelings matter and feelings affect the way we act. Feelings affect the way we think. And so here's what you need to do. You need to get to the source of your weariness. If we could say, all right, I'm getting a good night's sleep. I got my sleep monitor. I got all the things, whatever you're doing, right? And I'm getting exercise and personal life's not on fire. We got our normal ups and downs of any family, but everything's okay there. And so it's not that, and so it's not a physical cause of tiredness. It has to be mental or emotional. And so if it's emotional, you got to look in the workplace and go, what's causing me to be exhausted? Because folks, you could be emotionally and mentally exhausted at work. You know it and I know it. So what do you do now, Ken? Well, now that we figured out what is causing us exhaustion at work, we have to decide, can it be addressed? Should it be addressed? If it's addressed, is it going to get fixed? If it doesn't get fixed, what do I do now? I decide to move on. And this is the stuff that I cannot control. If it's about me and I see another seat on the bus that gives me the juice because it's allowing me to use what I do best, talent, to perform work that I really enjoy, passion, and to produce results that matter deeply to me, that's my mission. When my talent, passion, and mission are threaded together like a cord, I can tell you this, you'll be tired because you love the work so much and you're just getting after it. I'm tired at the end of every day. But it ain't exhausted, baby. It's just straight up exhilarated. I gave everything I had. How many of you have ever played a sport or taken on a hobby or taken a home project that you were passionate about and you did it at home and you were exhausted at the end? Were you exhausted or were you just spent? You gave everything you had. That's a good type of tired. You spent for a worthy cause. Coming up, we're going to look into this new data. Are half of U.S. companies going to lay people off, or is this hype?
Do you know what you were born to do? In order to get hired at a job you love, you need to get clear on your talent, passion, and mission. That's why our team created the Career Clarity Guide. In just a few minutes, this free tool will walk you through a process to discover what you do best, that's your talent, the work you love to do, that's your passion, and the results that matter to you, your mission. Then you'll feel more confident throughout the job search process. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/clarity.
All right, think about the last time that you did something new for the first time, or you experienced something new, you tasted something new, you tried something new, and it changed your whole perspective. For those of you who have bought the lie that work always has to suck, and that it's impossible to do something you love and be loved while you're doing it. That's why I endorse wholeheartedly a free service for you, the people. It's called ZipRecruiter. I talk about them every day because they're helping a lot of people navigate newness without all the stress. What does that mean? Think about how stressful it is, how time-consuming it is for you to apply to a bunch of jobs, as opposed to connecting yourself to ZipRecruiter in minutes, have a profile, and then they become your personal recruiter, and their technology is unbelievably lights out effective. They match your profile and your desires up with jobs that are available. And if companies go, hey, I want to interview them, and they put them directly in touch with you, it's seamless. You get to live your life. Now, you could go apply and do whatever else you want to do on your own, but why wouldn't you add a world-class free service? ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Okay. Because I am a man of the people, by the people, for the people, I'm keeping you informed. And so, new survey. And this is the kind of stuff that you got to have some maturity, or if you don't feel like working hard, just tune into the Ken Coleman Show. And I do the heavy lifting for you. Half of U.S. companies, according to a Fox Business article here and a new study, are preparing to cut jobs. This is according to a new survey by consultant PwC. They polled more than 700 U.S. executives and board members from various industries. About half of the respondents said they're preparing to reduce headcount or already have, with 52% having implemented hiring freezes. On top of that, roughly 46% of companies are either dropping or reducing signing bonuses, which were commonplace, and in some places still are. Stay tuned for that part of it. Another 44% are rescinding offers that they have previously put out. I'm just going to stop here for a second. Okay? Some of this is preventative maintenance, and some of this is panic. I'm telling you, if the pandemic taught me anything, oh boy. You ever know when you're about ready to inch out on the end of a diving board and say something that needs to be said, but inevitably is going to hurt somebody's feelings, and then you go, it's got to be said. So here it is. If the pandemic showed me, this is my opinion, if the pandemic showed me anything, it's that we have a scourge of weak, scared leaders. That's what the pandemic showed me. All walks of life. Politics, weak, scared leaders who acted weak and acted scared. Business leaders who acted weak and scared. Sports leaders that acted weak and scared. We have a problem in this country, and it's bigger and a whole lot wider than just leadership. However, it is profoundly affecting the most influential group in our society, and that is leaders. And let me tell you what it is. The fear of being criticized. Oh, I didn't plan to say that today, but somebody better write that down. There's so much depth in what I just said, you better not miss it. And you better ask yourself, this is bonus content, and I'm going to get right back to this, but here's what's going on, and it ties into this. Weak, scared leaders panic. Strong, clear leaders chill. They do. They go, all right, we got a storm coming, and instead of freaking out, I'm going to chill for a minute and go, how is this storm going to affect us? What do we know about the storm? Which way is it coming in? What are the factors? Weak, fearful leaders panic. Strong, clear leaders, well, they make solid decisions. And so what you're seeing with this survey is two buckets. You have some strong, clear leaders go, all right, sorry, I lost my train of thought because my ears are going bananas here, folks. I'm sorry. These little things in here, my voice is coming in and out, and I got distracted. Strong, clear leaders say, I see a storm coming, and so we're just going to prepare for the storm. We're not going to panic. We're going to make some preparations. So that would be a hiring freeze, right? Okay, we're going to chill for a bit. Let's stop hiring for now. Let's just stay calm and let's just put a pause on hiring and see how the storm plays out. Okay, the weak, fearful leader panics and starts laying people off. Oh no! That'll lay some people off. And so that's what you see right now. Two camps. Hey, that's not in the article. That's my analysis, right? You don't get those sound effects either in the article. So here's the reason that I share this. When you see headlines like this, you can't freak out too. 50% of employers are going to lay people off. I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to starve and we're going to be living under a bridge. And hey, relax. You can't control what your leader is going to do. What you can control is your response. What's your plan for the storm? That's why I share this. The job market is still crazy hot. We are at 3.5% unemployment. This despite headlines of the last 2 months. Google, Facebook, Peloton, Carvana laying people off. Well, again, they're laying people off because they either overhired, and again, they are responsible to the stockholders. And so that's what big public companies do. They'll staff up, and then when there's maybe possible signs of downturn, they staff down. It's not the end of the world. Relax. Keep in mind, the July jobs report showed that the economy added 525,000 jobs, way beyond expectations of most economists. They thought it was going to be in the 200,000. So I'm just trying to be the voice of reason and go, relax. The media makes their living scaring the ever-living you-know-what out of you. All right. Now, let's look into another headline that's very specific. Ford, right? One of the big automakers is laying off 2,000 salaried employees and about 1,000 agency personnel as it looks to lead a new era of connected and electric vehicles. This is a statement from Ford Executive Chairman Bill Ford and CEO Jim Farley. This is what they said. Building this future requires changing and reshaping virtually all aspects of the way we have operated for more than a century. Pause. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Don't just read a headline, Ford's laid off 3,000 workers, and then you get heartburn and call your wife and freak out. What was the statement? Well, we're changing all aspects of the way we've operated. Why? Because the trend in the marketplace is dictating they do it because of electric vehicles. I mean, that F-150 has been an absolute innovative, unbelievable kind of mountaintop for everybody else. You've seen the commercials, you've read the stories. You could power your entire house off of the electric Ford 150. This is a massive shift. Ford, this isn't a bad thing. They're going, look, we got to make some changes. The way we're staffed and the way we've operated is not the way we're going to operate in the future. That's what that says. The statement goes on. It requires focus, clarity, and speed. Let me break that down. So if you've got 3,000 employees that largely served an old way of operating, and the new way is going to require different types of employees, maybe more automation, different systems, well, then that's why they're making the changes. It ain't because Ford's freaking out and wringing their hands. The statement goes on. It means redeploying resources and addressing our cost structure, which is uncompetitive versus traditional and new competitors. Again, that's the sign of a good, healthy company. Wait a second. Our cost structures are off. We're not competitive with our competitors. You don't criticize that and go, oh, no. You go, oh, that's well done. It's well done. So, again, when you see these headlines, dive into the story. Get different stories, multiple vantage points on what's going on. Hey, we're in an teensy-weensy recession. You're going to be okay. Trust me. Stay tuned. I'll keep you informed and equipped. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Did you know that recruiters take an average of 6 seconds to scan a resume? And that's if they ever see it in the first place. In fact, 75% of resumes are rejected before reaching a hiring manager. Listen, folks, if you want to get hired, you've got to make your resume worth noticing. That's why we created How to Write the Perfect Resume. This free guide will walk you through the 5 steps to stand out in the hiring process to get you your dream job. If you want to get started, go to kencoleman.com/resume.
Coaching you up so you make more money and experience more meaning in your work. This is the Ken Coleman Show. I wear 3 hats, coach, counselor, and cheerleader when we do our coaching calls. And we'll be doing that a little bit later in the program. But first, a couple more stories I want to get to. I don't know which one I want to get to first, Alex. We'll go with this one because I want to spend more time on this other one. Ice cream shop owner. This is local television in Salisbury, North Carolina, and website WBTV. Ice cream shop owner takes to social media to share frustration over workforce issues and stress. Do we have a picture of this? It's a Dairy Queen, and Alex will throw this up on the screen for our viewing audience. The West Inez Dairy Queen has been a fixture in the community since 1950. But owner Melissa Utley says she's never seen a labor market like this. Yeah, you ain't kidding. And by the way, when she's telling this to the reporter, she's in tears. She said, "We're struggling." And makes a few other statements, but she's hurting because she can't get a talent. She can't get employees. She took to social media last week to let her customers know how frustrating it's been and begging the customers to understand there may be days when the wait is really long. She went on to say there was, there it is right there on the screen. Yeah, we put it up there. Oh, this is the statement here. Okay, great. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. There was one Sunday I was here by myself and I had a line out to the road and I almost sat down and cried and turned off the lights and closed the window, but I didn't. I kept pushing through. As long as I can do it, I'm going to be here even if I'm by myself. Now, she's not alone. She's not by herself in this problem. Small businesses across the country are reporting having a hard time finding workers. And it seems to be this grand mystery for folks. It's not. Here's the reality. We're just in this boom in the job economy where as the economy grows or evolves is probably the better word, it's spinning off more jobs so people have more to choose from. It's just simply that. And again, to paint the picture, right now with a 3.5% unemployment rate, it's the lowest it's ever been in the history of our country. You have over 11 million jobs open and only 8.5 million people who are saying they're unemployed and want to work. So what that comes down to is there's 1.5 jobs available for every person who is looking for a job. And these small businesses who are, hourly wage work, and they're the little Dairy Queen, and young people are going, I don't want to work at the Dairy Queen. I can do this. I can do this. It also could be a function of you got a lot of teenagers that aren't working. We've seen wages rise tremendously, and I think we've seen habits change. Here's something nobody's saying on the news. Maybe I'll say it the next time I'm on broadcast news or cable news or whatever it is. In my day, boy, here we go. Here he goes. But I'm middle-aged, and in my day, let me tell you something. I got my first job at 14. Okay? And I was working in a greenhouse in Virginia in the summer. In other words, it's about the 4th level of hell is how hot it was. And I'm out there at 14, probably weighed 90 pounds. Yeah. Walking a little 6-inch wide metal strip between greenhouses. I'm talking on the top. Dragging, did I mention I weighed 90 pounds? A very heavy black tarp. All by myself, had to pull it up and then attach it a little bit at a time, throw it over the top, get down, get up on a ladder, get back up on the other side. And then when I was done with that, I had to get down underneath the wooden tables that had those iron grates on the top of them. And I had to spray, God only knows what was in this chemical. I swear to you, I'm going to wake up one day with a third ear right in the middle of my forehead. I'm going to go, honey, I knew it was the chemicals that I used at Anderson's greenhouse. Sprayed it on this concrete, iron brush, scrubbing the algae off the concrete. 14. You know what I was making? $4.25 an hour. Okay, so back in my day, teenagers worked because their parents said, we ain't got any money. You got to go work. I got no money. And my kids, I get a text like this every once in a while. Hey, is there any money in my account? And you know what I say? I don't know. Check it yourself, Sparky. You're broke. So probably not any money in your account. And so we give, when they're not working during school and football, we'll give them some money that's based on chores and things around the house. So anyway, we had to work back then. But here's the deal. We are seeing a time where a lot of young people just won't go do those jobs. And small business owners like a Dairy Queen operator, she relies on those type of employees. And so it really is tough. It really is tough. And I say all that to say this. If I'm living in a small town and I care about my Dairy Queen, and boy, I love Dairy Queen. I grew up eating Dairy Queen. I love me some Dairy Queen. All right. If I was a parent or a leader in the community, I'd be doing things, to incentivize kids to go work there somehow, some way to support these small businesses. There's no easy fix here because at the end of the day, you got to attract kids who are willing to work, and it is threatening the livelihood of women like this. And it sucks all the way around. All right. Next, this is, boy, oh boy, this caused a good bit of entertainment in our show meetings the other day. This is an actual article, and I'll be honest with you, I am introducing this with a heavy dose of cynicism and sarcasm because Inc. is a good magazine, but I feel like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Here's the article headline: Want to be more efficient and likable at work? Use more emojis. Now, I feel like anybody over the age of 50 may not even know what an emoji is, but it's everything from the little smiley face to the thumbs ups and all those things. So I imagine most people do. If I told my dad, I don't know if my dad would know what an emoji is. He's 71. I don't know. I think he'd know what it is. I don't know if he'd know to call it an emoji, but I don't know. Is it emoji or emoji? Any opinions back there? No, but emoji? All right, that's what we're going with. Here's the deal. This is an Inc. article. In a recent survey of employees globally, 58% said that using emojis at work allows them to communicate more nuanced feelings with fewer words. I think that's just preposterously stupid. That you can't use a word to convey the same amount of emotion as an emoji. My example is you could go, aw, and that conveys the same thing as that stupid emoji with the red cheeks. Oh, the people in the chat room are throwing emojis at me like crazy. I'll go on. 2/3 of global respondents said they felt closer and more bonded in a conversation when messaging someone who understands the emoji they're using. Okay. So there's 3 ways the article says to use emojis more efficiently. More optimally. Number 1, use them for efficiency. So an emoji instead of 2 words. So the thumbs up as opposed to well done. Okay, I get you on that. A check mark instead of okay, I'll give you that. But use them for efficiency. And next, use them judiciously. Don't do too many emojis. I could get irritated pretty quick. If all I got were a bunch of emojis from people, I'd get irritated. I like words. I like conversations. I've said this many times on the show before. I hope my wife's not listening today. She and her mom will be in the car together, and I'm driving, and she's having a full-on, unbelievably intensely detailed conversation with her mom on text. And I went, have you thought about just picking up the phone? Because the transfer time between all of the typing and all of the minutia in a text, you could just go, hey, Mom, we're going to pick up a bag of sweet potatoes and some green beans. We'll meet you at the house at 5:30. I don't get it. I like words and I like conversations. Maybe I'm old school. I don't care. And then they're saying just use them because it makes you more likable. Better be careful, though. We didn't share a few images that apparently some off-color stuff people throw out there. Do we got some of the images? We're not going to do that one. Here we go. There's the tongue out. Even if it's innocent, keep your tongue in. Your boss definitely doesn't want to get that pile of poop message. And you can't put the lips in there because anybody could read that a whole lot of different ways. So I can't even believe I just said that. See, none of this crap matters if you do it the Ken Coleman way, and that's look somebody in the eye and talk to them. It's amazing the level of communication and connection you can make. Take your emojis and stuff them. I'm old school, baby.
Did you know that just like a product, you have a personal brand? It's the image or impression others form about you based on your interactions. And whether we realize it or not, our personal brand impacts opportunities to grow in our careers. That's why our team created the Personal Brand Survey. It's free, and it will give you personal and professional feedback so you can own your strengths and uncover any blind spots holding you back. To get started, go to kencoleman.com/brand.
All right, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. If you're watching live and engaged in the chat room, how about clicking on the thumbs up emoji below my video window there, huh? That's what the team tells me to tell you folks. It does help us. We are experiencing record growth. So I do want to say a quick thank you to all of you that are watching. We're seeing records every month, and so excited about that because I know we can help a lot of people. So give us a thumbs up here. I want to see those numbers go up. I'm talking to you. Yeah, that's right, you. Yeah, you. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, what are you doing? You're going to sit here and camp out and be entertained and be encouraged and equipped by me, and you can't hit the thumbs up? What's wrong with you people? You're takers. I'm kidding. That was just over the top. Maybe now we'll get people to hit the thumbs up. Is that good? Does that satisfy you? Okay, very nice. Gabrielle is going to join us in Manhattan, Kansas, I believe the home of Kansas State. If I'm not mistaken. Hey, it's that time of year. Everything's going to be college football reference before I know it if I'm not careful. Gabrielle, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Well, the pleasure's all mine. What's going on?
Oh, just needing some advice about a job offer that I'm kind of having difficulty deciding on whether it's a fair salary or not.
Okay.
And just figured I'd call the expert.
I love it. So what is causing you to feel like this might not be a fair offer?
Well, I'm part-time right now, and so I obviously don't receive like any benefits like health insurance or retirement or any of that, and I'm getting paid they're offering a full-time salary, and so I might have to be traveling for this job, and so I don't necessarily get paid mileage. Like I might have to travel about 20 miles one way, and so I'm just a little confused on whether I should if I should ask for more. I'm a little bit of a new graduate, and so I just didn't know what
okay,
what
have you
do.
So you're brand new and they've offered you a package. What did they offer you?
It's $30 per hour.
$30 an hour right out of college. All right, let me just tell you something, okay? All right, I'm gonna play your dad because I'm old enough to be your dad, I'm guessing. All right, $30 an hour coming out of school, that is fantastic.
Yes, I'm super lucky and blessed, and that's what makes me feel oh yes, you should just take it,
Well,
take
no,
it.
listen, hold on. I didn't say that to then back you off of what your concerns are. I want to walk through this. First of all, $30 an hour, and what is the role? What will you be doing?
I'm a physical therapist assistant.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
$30 an hour to be a physical therapist assistant is fantastic. I'm not saying take it based on that, but let's just walk through this. All right.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. You're straight out of school, kiddo. That's huge.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm guessing you want to be a physical therapist one day? Or open to it?
Yes, I'm open to it. So currently right now I'm a senior in my undergraduate degree because you have to have an undergraduate to go on to doctorate school. And so I'm finishing up. I'll graduate this May. And while I'm here right now, I'm planning on working. And so
Listen to me. Physical therapy school is very expensive, as you know, and I do not want you to go into debt for it. So the fact that you're going to get a job as a physical therapy assistant at $30 an hour and you're not even out of school yet. I thought you were out of school. You're not even out of school.
Yes.
This is phenomenal. This is the proximity principle. I wrote an entire book on this. And so,
yes.
And so I'm not going to be hung up on, you can ask them, hey, do you guys pay mileage because I'm traveling from place to place? They probably don't. And that's not something that you can demand. You can ask about it. But what else are you concerned about? I got a minute. What else are you concerned about besides mileage?
Well, and just like if I travel there, since I'm a student, I'm going to have not as many hours to work, like in between classes and everything, to make sure that I have enough time to like really get there, get in the groove.
You got time. You got time. Make time. This is a great opportunity for you. If you were my daughter, I'd say figure that out.
Okay.
All right. I'm not trying to be tough love guy. I'm just telling you, this is a huge opportunity for you to get in. And listen, I want you to look at it this way. You're going to get paid really well to learn, do, and connect. Let me say it again. You're going to get paid very well to learn the craft, to do some of the craft, and get connected within the craft. Figure out the schedule. Figure out the gas. Save money. Eat bologna sandwiches. Take the job. Congratulations.
So you just landed the new job. Congratulations. You've made it past the interviews and now it's time to onboard with excellence. That's why I created How to Stand Out at Your New Job. This free checklist will help you succeed from day one and may even help you get promoted. These practical steps set you up to add value, help your team win, exceed your leader's expectations, and ultimately set you up for a successful transition. To get started, just go to kencoleman.com/new.
I generally have a good idea when I give good advice. I really do, which is most of the time. That's why I have this job. You know, I'm not a plate spinner. I'm not a weight guesser at a carnival. You know, I'm pretty good at this. And every once in a while, you give some advice and you get immediate confirmation from somebody who actually knows. And so our last caller, she was talking about she's a senior in college, and she's been offered a position as a physical therapist assistant at $30 an hour. Kent, should I take it? So I said, yes. So then in the chat room, Mike Matthews. Mike, I want to give you a shout out for watching live, and thanks for confirming. This is what Mike says. He says, that's a crazy compensation package for a physical therapy assistant. I'm a PT, and I made less than that at my first job after graduating 12 years ago. Take the job. And I just want to remind those of you that are younger, we have a lot of young people watching on YouTube. I cannot tell you the value of getting in to the field you want to be in, getting on the ladder, even if it's several rungs ladder, you're just on the freaking ladder, because this is where you get the opportunity to learn, do, and connect. Those three words are vital. If I'm getting paid to learn, I'm getting paid to do a little bit of what I eventually want to do, and I'm getting paid to connect with people in the industry that could eventually give me an opportunity, I'm walking around like I won the lottery, because that's what it takes to advance. Take it from me. All right. Time for some more coaching. Marie joins us in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Marie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet, Marie. What's up?
Okay, so here's the dilemma. My husband hates his job.
Mm-hmm.
He's as miserable as you can imagine. He resents the organization that he works for. He's been with the feds for 18 years. He wants to leave and get out of his line of work entirely and pursue something in the private sector. But he's 2 years away from getting a pension, a pretty good pension, and lifetime medical benefits. So he wants to stick it out. But it's tough. It's tough on him. It's tough on both of us. So my question is, what advice would you have for him? And then for me, as his spouse, what advice would you have for me about how I can support him and encourage him in that direction?
What's his name?
His name's Anthony.
If I was with Anthony right now, or we could patch Anthony through, I'd say, Anthony, are you working for a pension or are you working for purpose? That's what I'd ask him. And he'd look at me and he'd go, oh, crap. And he'd wrestle with that because you got a husband who's miserable, and I'm not going to make you share what the effects are, but they're, I'm guessing, physical, emotional, and mental, yes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I dare say it might be relational with you two every once in a while.
Yeah, certainly. It certainly has effects on our marriage.
Okay, so we're going to do that for 2 more years? For a pension?
Yeah.
For a pension? For lifetime medical benefits? I know those sound really good, but I want to reframe this and not be insensitive to anybody in the audience who's in the same boat, because I hear this all the time. And I've said this on social media, and it freaks people out. Boy, they come after me on Instagram when I do these Q&As, and somebody say, should I take a job just for benefits? And I go, no, never. In fact, I'd never take a job because of good benefits, and people don't understand what I'm saying. I don't know how you can understand what I'm saying. I said it as clear as I could possibly say it. Benefits should never be the sole reason why you would take a job. That is a scarcity mindset. Mm-hmm. So here's what I would tell you. If I could replace your husband's salary today and he began to invest the way we teach, if you have no debt and you've got an emergency fund and you could invest 15% of his income, he would make up the difference in whatever that pension. I mean, he doesn't have to rely on the pension to retire. Well,
yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something else. Government health care is not your only option for health care.
Yeah.
That's what we're deciding on. At least that's the way you presented it to me. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to do 2 more years of mental, emotional, and physical and relational crap. And we're going to bite the stick and be miserable for 2 long years. And the reason we're going to do this is because we think it's going to give us a comfortable life. Now, how does that sound to you? Would you give that advice to somebody else?
I wouldn't. No.
I'd say screw comfortable. Like, I'm not here to live a comfortable life. Marie, I didn't put at risk everything I had done professionally. I didn't risk and actually take massive pay cut to begin the process at the age of 33 to reinvent myself because I wanted to live a comfortable life. I lived in a gated golf course community in the suburbs of Atlanta, folks. I was making over 6 figures and I was miserable, but baby, I was comfortable. I was the picture of comfort. So, Marie, you know what I'd tell Anthony. I'd tell him my story. And I'm going to go, Anthony, I would say that a good chunk of your soul has already seeped out of your body. That's the bad news. The good news is we can recapture it. And I would say that, Anthony, the reason that you are considering staying miserable is because you're scared. And I would tell you that he has 2 point-blank fears, and I want you to share this with him. And I would actually want you to show him today's show.
I will.
Fast forward to the very end.
I'm calling in, so.
Great. Tell him he needs to watch it because I'm looking right at the camera and I'm talking to you, Anthony. And here's what I know, Anthony, because I've been where you are and I decided to walk through these 2 fears, and here are the fears. You are afraid that there are no other options for you. And you're afraid that if there were options that you could find, that nobody would give you a shot. I know that I'm right about that. You don't believe there are options, and then you don't believe if there are options that anybody will give you a shot, and so you're trying to talk yourself into staying miserable. And it sounds really smart, Anthony. It sounds smart because this is what you tell yourself and what you tell your lovely wife, Marie. Well, it sure sucks, and the biggest part of my life, I spend more time at work than anything else. That's true, isn't it, Marie?
Yeah.
And the largest portion of your life, Anthony, sucks. And you're continuing to do it because you've told yourself that it's the smart move. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to get a great pension and health care for life from the government. Woohoo! You ever asked a 5-year-old 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, when we're in the beginning of our true wonder and we see life just as it is, this spectacular, unknown, and possibilities are everywhere. You don't ask a kid, what do you want to be when they grow up? And they never say, well, I really don't care. I just want a good government pension and health care. Anthony, the time's now, my friend. So we start with getting clear on what options are out there for you, what qualifications you may need, if you already got them, what the path looks like to get there. And we begin to compute what's the time, what's the money involved for me to make an investment to build a bridge from where I am, misery, to where I want to be, which is meaning. And spend the next chapter or chapters or season of your work life enjoying driving into the office because you look forward to getting to use your talents and perform your passions and accomplish your mission. And you and Marie fund your dreams and live your dreams. Anthony, this is the prospect that I present to you today. What are you going to do? So, Marie, you asked me a question. Back to you very briefly. What can you do? Love him. Encourage him. Say, babe, I'm all in. If we got to make some uncomfortable changes and they're scary, I'm in. I'm locking arms with you, babe. I'm in. Because I know when you're happy, I'm happy, and we're happy. And life is too short. We don't know if we've got tomorrow. There's no way in you know where that I'm going to feel like I'm working in you know where, all because of a pension and healthcare benefits. Marie, I hope that helps. Anthony, I believe in you. Call me, Anthony. I'll help you. Let's give Marie a Get Clear assessment for Anthony and the book From Paycheck to Purpose, my gift to you to get you started. Hey, everybody else, you matter. You have what it takes. Press on.
Thanks for listening to The Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.